Hello YouTube. I first started collecting inhumanoids because of this guy. He's called Tendril, and I think you'll agree he's a pretty cool looking creature. I got him shipped over from the US, and you can see he's got a fang missing at the front there and another one has broken off. So I got him fairly cheaply. He also didn't have any tails and I had to make a couple of tails for him. Soon after getting Tendril so cheaply, I was also able to get Metlar at a really reasonable price, and that was because his head had come off, but I was able to fix it back on and it displays really well. So this is the figure that has eluded me for the longest. He's called Decompose, and he is the rarest of all of the Inhumanoids figures, the most sought after, and really weird looking character. I've just been able to pick him up to complete my sort of main three big figures. So keep in mind that the very rare few occasions that I've seen him come up for sale, he's been over £500, and I wasn't prepared to pay that. So I had just done a commission and I was due to get paid for the commission that day. And I thought, I'm going to phone my wife and see if I can borrow some money from her. And she sent me some money to my bank account. And then typically I went onto eBay and I clicked the buy it now thing. And I was waiting to pay for the item. And then it said, we need to verify your details and we're going to do it by text. So I got my phone out, realised my phone was dead, and I was like, oh my God, it's going to go. Somebody else is going to buy it. I charged up my phone, managed to get it charged up in a few minutes, enough to be able to get the text code, put the text code in, and then hit the buy it now, and I was able to get him. And it was such a big relief, but it was a massive panic up until that point. Now, a lot of you will be looking at this and you'll be thinking, why have you just spent that much money on this bit of plastic? And it's because he is so rare. Like, you have no idea how long I've been looking for this to kind of almost complete my collection. Have a look at the detailing here. Like, he's basically just all covered in kind of decomposing flesh. He's got little tubes and bits of texture all sticking out of his arms. And the more you look at him, the more you see these little kind of interesting sculpt details. I think he's really cool looking. And obviously, you know, his ribs open up and he's got all this kind of gore and organs and stuff inside his ribs. He's got that hideous rat-like face. Look at these claws on his feet. Each toe seems to be twisted in some kind of direction that it shouldn't really be going in, as if the toes are sort of broken or something. And then, yeah, here's his rib cage. It opens up. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be spring loaded, I think, but I really just want to have this to put him on display, so I'm not fussed if the springs work or not. I just can push the levers at the back and the ribs open up, which is all I kind of wanted it to be able to do. Most of his paintwork is in really good condition. You can see here where this kind of slightly darker orangey flesh colour has been sprayed onto him. That's all in really good nick, and quite often that gets scraped off. Also, his eyes, his nice bright red eyes, are intact, and the black rims around are really nice as well. He has this really weird wisp of hair. It's like really hideous, like kind of dead hair, like a zombie rat. And he has this bit where the light comes through and it shines through his nose. Like all the Inhumanoids figures have this feature. A lot of you who have visited this channel before will know that I make a lot of movie creatures and I paint them all up and everything as well. And there's nothing I would love to do more than to paint this decomposed figure, because you could really bring out a lot of these details and things and do a much better paint job than obviously they've done. But obviously I'm not going to do that because it's a collector's item. I'm going to leave him completely how he is. All the organs and everything you can see underneath this rib cage, it's all just red plastic, and then you can see there's a bit of kind of motley paintwork in there, and that's enough to make it look really quite hideously gory. Imagine if you were growing up in the 80s and you were given this as a present and you put it on your bedside table and you're trying to get to sleep at night with that thing looking at you. It'd be just like that scene from Lost Boys where he's got that sort of stuffed animal on the bedside table next to him. Right, interestingly, if we look at his backbone, it actually starts up here on his head. So he's got vertebrae sticking out of his skull, and then his backbone continues down. You can see the two white levers there that you squeeze to open and close his rib cage. You can clearly see his hips, and you can see a lot more kind of gore and skin textures going down his legs. Even after I'd hit the buy it now button on eBay and I thought that I'd got it secured, I was still worried, like what if the guy didn't send it? Or, what if it came? It was due to be delivered actually on a day when I was at work. So I had to change that so that it would be delivered on the following day when my wife would be in to collect it. But even then I thought, what if they leave it on the doorstep and they don't knock or ring the doorbell? They just leave it there and somebody else, comes along and just walks off with it. It's a really, really difficult character to buy, especially at the price that I managed to get it at. And I just thought, oh no, I'm going to have to wait a really long time again to be able to get another one if it doesn't turn up. There's another really cool little feature on his shoulders, and you can see here like the bone of his arm just sticks through basically. I really like that. That's a really nice touch. He's got similar on his other shoulder, but it's not quite so big, the bit of bone sticking out. Let me show you these two white levers on the back. You can see when I push them in, his ribs open. I think probably originally they would have been on springs, and then maybe when I release my fingers, the ribs would close again. I don't know, you'll have to let me know in the comments if they were originally spring loaded or not, or if they're just loose like mine are, and that's how they're supposed to be. Maybe that's the case as well. You could put a figure in his ribs as well originally, that was the idea. I won't particularly mind if his ribs are supposed to be spring loaded because for me, I just wanted him to look great on display. It's interesting to me that he is the smallest of these main three figures, but he's the most expensive and most sought after. For me, like Tendril was always my kind of personal favourite. It's just such a huge relief to finally have Decompose in my collection. It just means that it's one less thing that I have to keep kind of scrolling for, looking for on eBay. By the way, Metlar, he always reminded me a little bit of the Rancor monster from Star Wars, but if you were to put an original Kenner Rancor monster next to him, it would be very small compared to him. He's like a real big, bulky character. You'll have to let me know in the comments if you've been having a similar problem trying to find a Decompose, or if you did manage to get one, but it took you ages and you were searching, looking on eBay, scrolling for like hours and hours at a time trying to find one. Or it might have been one of the other characters that was particularly hard for you to get, and I'd be really interested to know which one was giving you the most grief. Right, I suppose you would like to see these main three figures with all of the smaller Inhumanoids figures, just for comparison. So this is the rest of my collection. You can see I've still got a few bits and bobs to get to complete the whole lot. Like I say, the fangs on Tendril, one of them snapped and the other one is completely missing. So I need to get fangs for him. I don't know if I can buy the fangs or if I can make the fangs, but one way or another, I'm determined to give him some fangs. And we've got this character here called Grannock. There's another one who's called Granite the Race, and he's like the same colour as that tree guy. I think he's called Redland next to him. That sort of creamy colour, but he's called Granite the Race, and he looks like Grannock. So that's another figure that I need to get. In my human characters, I need to get a little part for that guy's weapon. I need to get a helmet for this guy, and he also has a backpack as well. That makes him a bit more expensive once he's got those parts. This guy as well needs a helmet, and he also has an arm missing that looks very similar to this one with that sort of like green kind of hook effect. But yeah, there's one for the other side that I need to get. So a few bits and bobs, one more figure. I just need one more figure to complete the whole line and just those bits and bobs. So yeah, really pleased. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this video. Hit subscribe to see anything that I post up in the future. Thanks for watching and I'll catch you in the next video.